Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be making a bead garland. I'm going to be using these beads that I bought at Dollar Tree, and they are already stained. I don't know, they're about half an inch. I have no idea how big they are, but they're a pretty good size, and I like them because they're already finished, and they're this beautiful dark stained color already, so I really like them. And I think I'm going to be using about 45 beads. That's what I have in here. They do come in small packages, and I'm not sure exactly. I threw away the package, but they do come in about, I'm going to say about 10 per package or so. I'm not sure exactly. I wish I would have saved it, but I didn't think I was going to need the package, and I put them in a jar. So, but they are from Dollar Tree, and they're a little small package, and they already come finished like this. So, that's where I got them from. And then I'm going to be using this jute twine that I also found at Dollar Tree. I like it because it's kind of thin. The one from Walmart is a little bit, maybe like 2 or 3 times as thick as this, and so it's a lot harder to thread double for me. And I am also going to be using this needle that I use for my crocheting. You know, you just kind of crochet your ends with it. It's kind of a thicker needle, big, and it's got this big eye where I can thread like a piece of twine or something a little bit thicker through, and so this works really well for that. And also you're going to need scissors. Hello. Please say hi whenever you come in. I haven't been able to see comments lately, and I don't know why. I wish I could. I'm so sad that I can't. I can write a comment, but I cannot see the comment. So hopefully you guys still interact with me and let me know how you're doing, even if I have to answer you after my live. So I went ahead and cut a piece of twine, and this is just going to be probably about as long as your garland's going to be, maybe just a little bit longer. I think mine's about it's about 72 inches, I believe, or 75 inches maybe, because you do want to double it up. So it's a pretty long piece that I'm using, maybe about 2 yards of twine. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using my needle, and I'm going to be threading it all the way through, just to make it easier for me to do my beads. It's not necessary because these beads are kind of bigger, so it's got like a big hole in there, and it's probably not that hard, not that difficult to thread this little thin twine through it. But I feel like the needle makes it a lot easier if you do have one available. I'm pretty sure I bought mine at Walmart or somewhere like that, and it's just like where like the crocheting things are, and it's just got like a big eye like that. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but anyway, so I went ahead and threaded my my thread. I'm not gonna do a knot or anything. You can, but I choose not to. So I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and thread all my beads through. Like I said, I am using about 45 beads, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start threading through. And this is very simple. You're just going to thread it all the way through. My needle. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing pretty good myself. I'm going to thread it through. I guess I'm going to leave a little tail just so that I don't have to put a knot through it, and the beads won't slip out of it. So just leave a little bit. If you need to run the beads down a little bit more after you're almost done, then you can run them down just a little bit carefully. But just as long as you're not going all the way through the bottom, because then you'll have to start all over. Making my bead garland, and I thought that you guys might like this tutorial, so I went ahead and came on to show you guys. Sometimes things that I think may be really simple, some of you may not really know. Like the tassel part is the more difficult part, I believe. Everyone does their tassels different, but I figure I can show you guys how I do mine. Almost done. Alright, got all my beads threaded through, and I still have two lengths on each side, which is okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this part off where it has the needle. I'm just going to cut it off right at the needle. So you're not going to need this needle for now, or you're not going to need it anymore. So now you have two ends that are exactly the same with two little strings, okay, and your beads attached. Put those to the side, and now what you're going to need is you're going to need to get your twine, and you're going to want to cut, I'm going to say about 12 inches maybe of twine. I'm going to cut two of them since there's two sides to my two tassels that I need, so I'm going to go ahead and cut both of them already. So they're about 12 inches. And you can, let's see, put them to the side. Now you're going to need a little piece of either cardboard. I have this little piece of wood here. Just anything that you have that you can wrap. This one's about 2.5 inches wide, but then it also has a little bit of you know, it's kind of thick. So with this one, I was able to get a tassel that's about 3 inches. So wrapping it around this little 2.5 inch block of wood made me about a 3.5 inch little tassel. I mean, keep in mind that at the end you're still going to be trimming it a little bit, so it's about 3 inches once it's finished. So, but this is what the tassel is going to kind of look like. Okay. What I did, I just went ahead and wrapped up. I put my I like to always leave my tail just a little bit longer than the rest of it, just because I like to see where it ends and where it begins, and I don't like for it to run. So I feel like leaving it just a little bit longer than the end, I can kind of hold it with my finger and it doesn't move my twine. So then I'm just going to wrap it about 10 times around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's about 10 times right there. And now I'm just going to cut that piece off. Okay, so here's my 2 ends right here, and I'm just cutting, I just cut it off of the little bundle, and now I'm going to kind of slide it off of here, and I'm going to kind of pinch on the very top just so that it doesn't unravel on me, and kind of hold it to where it's got like a little bit of a just like a circle, like a loop. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one end of my bead garland, and see how it's got two ends right here? I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got the 2 ends. I'm going to put one of the ends through it, and I'm basically going to make a knot right in the middle. See, I still have it pinched right there where I had it pinched. I still have it pinched right there. So I'm just going to kind of place that right in the middle, and this is where I'm going to make my knots with my end. So I'm just going to make a really good knot. I don't want to make it too tight where it's going to be super tight to the beads. Just kind of leave it tied up a little bit, kind of loose, just a little bit, not too much, not too of course you don't want a huge gap on there, but you also don't want it super tight. So I just made two like a double knot, simple. And now you've got this little circle, and then of course your knot is in the middle, your knot from the rope, from the beads. So that's okay. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take it to the other side, and the loop, let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and trim those kind of to the end. That way it doesn't interfere with the rest of the project. I'm just gonna kind of trim them sort of to the end. I'm not gonna trim these yet, like cut them apart. I just wanted to get those long pieces kind of out of the way so that I don't get messed up on the next step. Okay, so now after I did that part, now what I'm gonna do is, remember the 12-inch pieces that we cut? You're gonna take one. You're gonna go ahead and take one, right? And then you're gonna take one of the ends from that 12-inch, and you're gonna put it towards the top. And then you're gonna make sort of like a little loop. It doesn't have to be a huge loop, but you're gonna make a little small loop with the same 12-inch, and just kind of hold it in place. See that? I don't know if you guys can see that. So here's my end, one end, and then I made my little loop. I just made a small little loop where you guys can see it. See that? And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my my rope and kind of wrap it. My twine, sorry. Just kind of give it a couple of wraps. Maybe about 3 or 4. And here's like a little bit of how it's wrapped. About 3 or 4 times. Don't let it go like I just did. Okay? And then you're going to take that end that you have here, and you're going to put it through that little small loop that you made. You see that little small loop? You're going to put it through there. Okay? Now you have your loop. Now you're going to take this part that's up here on the very top, and you're going to pull on it. Pull on it, pull on it, until you get it inside of this little wrapped part that you made. So you can pull on both of them just to kind of make it secure. You don't want to bring it all the way through to the top. You just kind of want to hide that little knot. Now if you want to put a little bit of glue or something right in there to secure it, you can. I don't, because it never unravels for me, but you totally can. So that's just what I do. And then now you can either take your needle again and just kind of you just thread it and go through the knot, which that makes it a little bit difficult if you tied it tight enough. But you're gonna go all the way through, and you're gonna just bring it back down to the bottom, or you can just trim it right in there. So if you just put a little dab of glue and glue it, and you can just trim it all the way to the end. Let's see. Trim it all the way to the end here, just kind of where it's flush with the rest of it, and that's it. So that other piece is just right here, and it kind of blends in with the rest of them. Okay, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your scissors and of course trim all these to the end, and you want to give it like a little haircut and make them kind of even. I like to trim all mine and make sure that I got all of them, and then I kind of just comb them and just comb them. Either you can wrap a piece of tape or something if you want to, or you could just hold it with your fingers, in between your fingers, and just give it a haircut and clean that part up a little bit. Just clean it up with your scissors, make it even. There you go. See that? Okay. And now you have your tassel. And it's nice and secure, and there's no knots showing on there, and it's secured onto this other part of the bead garland. Okay, so now you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Exactly the same thing as you did, except we don't want to leave it, I don't like to make my garland super tight, so I'm going to just be careful when I do tie my garland, my tassel on there, that it's going to be still kind of flexible. So I want to give it just a little bit of room. Okay. Let's see. One more time. Let me make another tassel for you guys. Leave my little tail. And then go around 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? And now I'm going to trim that off. Trim it off and slide it. Just slide it off. Make sure you pinch that top part. Go. There's my little loops. Okay. Now you're going to take your string and split it again, and then you're going to put your little loop of yarn through it. You can make these with yarn. You can make these with embroidery floss. Of course, I'm using jute. I've used cotton twine before. You can use ribbon to make tassels like this as well, like the small thin ribbon. I thought I had one. I'm not sure where I put it. But anyway, okay, so you're going to take the two ends and you're going to tie them together. And remember, make sure don't go too tight, because then you're going to make this really stiff. So you don't want to make it too stiff. You want to kind of leave the knot to where it's got maybe just a little bit of give. I mean, it's not going to be like a super tight knot. It's still going to have a little bit of room in there, just a tiny bit. It doesn't need much. And then go ahead and tie it. Give it a good tie. And then that's it. So see how it's got like a little gap right in there where the beads are? I want to leave that little gap in there because just it kind of makes your beads kind of flexible. So you want them to be able to move around and sit okay. And if it's too stiff, it won't sit right. So it's got to have just a tiny bit of give. Okay, and here's your twine. I'm going to go ahead and cut these little long pieces off, sort of, just to get them out of the way. There we go. And now I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. I'm going to grab my 12-inch. I'm going to leave my loop going towards the top, again, towards my beads, one of my ends, and then I'm going to take this side and I'm going to make a tiny loop right here. Trying to make it smaller so that you guys can see it. A difference from this is the end of the actual tassel, and this is my little loop that I just made. Okay. Now I'm gonna hold on to it, and I'm gonna start tying it around pretty tight. I'm gonna tie it pretty tight, and I go like 3 or 4 times, and just kind of. I usually wrap towards the bottom, so I start on the very top and then just kind of spiral it towards the bottom. I don't know, that's just the way I do it. You don't have to do it that way. But, and then you're gonna take your end and you're gonna go through that little small loop. You're gonna put it through there. And now you're gonna pull on that end. Pull on that end from the top. This is the end that we have on the top. You're going to pull it until it hides in between, right in here. Pull it until it hides every single little knot that you made. Okay, kind of fix it just a little bit. Pull it, pull it, pull it so that it hides it. Super secure. It's not going anywhere. And then now I'm going to trim it off at the very end. And it just kind of hides your little knot. So there's that. And then now what you're going to do is you're just going to take your scissors. You're going to cut this off at the end and give it a good haircut. I kind of hold it all the way to where I want it, and then I give it a good little haircut. It helps if you hold it between your fingers and kind of hold them flat. It kind of helps. There's that. There's my tassel. And it has no knots at all around there, that middle part. And then now you have your little bead garland. And it's both of them are already secured, tied up. You can't see any of the knots or anything like that. So it's super secure. It won't come apart on you. And that's how it is. That's how it looks. Super, super cute and kind of simple. Of course, you can always tie your tassels a different way. I can actually show you guys how to do another way on the tassel if you guys need it. But basically, you're just gonna get a piece of twine and just kind of tie it right here in the middle. Now with that, that way, you're just gonna you're gonna see your knot. So that's the only difference between that tassel and the ones I just made. But there's no right or wrong. If it's your tassel, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if it's your garland, sorry. Now these, you might want to lay them flat somewhere to kind of straighten out. Maybe a little bit of heat might straighten them up a little bit as well. I wouldn't trust putting an iron to them or anything. Just kind of hold them still. I wouldn't want to make any fires or anything, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you could take a piece of twine, or cut 2 pieces of twine anyway. If you wanted to put a tassel on something else, all you gotta do is hold on to that top part again and take a little small piece of twine and tie it in the middle. This is how you would get this, the tassel where you would be able to tie it where anywhere you wanted. So, and then now, see the knot on this one is at the very top. The way I just did it, I just tied the knots. With this one, it doesn't have a knot at all because the knot stayed hidden inside of here. The knot was coming from the very top part. So you can also do that by bringing that knot down like this if you weren't going to need it for anything. Also, if you wanted to add like a jump ring or something here in the middle, you can add the jump ring to this little loop and hide your knot inside of there. You can also do that. So there's a lot of ways you can do things like this. And then once you get this, you just get your other piece of twine, and the same way that I just did it, except you're going to be able to see your knots. So you're just going to wrap it. Let me hold it somewhere so it doesn't get tangled up here. Did about 3 or 4 turns, and then now you're just going to wrap your twine, and you're going to make a little knot. But see, now you can also see your knot right here. So you can clip it off right there, but you're going to be able to see your little knot. That's the difference between the tassels I showed you at the beginning and the way I'm doing it now. So you see, you can see both of the knots right there. Or you can see both of the strings right there. Okay? You can see both of your knots. The top knot and then the side one. That's the difference. Same thing, give it a haircut. And there you are. That's your knot. Your tassel. Super simple and easy. And you don't have to do it the way I did it at the beginning. I just wanted to show you guys a different way of tying it. so that you didn't have that little knot. You kind of hide the knots on there. It kind of makes it look a little bit more clean, especially when it's like for home decor, something like that. Like you want to take a little bit of time to make things a little bit cleaner. And you can see the difference between this knot and that knot. There's no visible knots on here at all. Okay. Alright guys, well this is the bead garland tutorial, and we just finished it, and I really like it. I'm sorry I wasn't able to see any of your comments again. I hope Facebook starts to fix my problem that I'm having with not seeing comments. But if you guys have any questions, let me know please, and I will try to answer them in the comments later. Okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!